This is my review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 4, Not Fade Away. Pretty cool intro there with the total change of everything, with the music playing, Lou Reed in the background, kind of the slow-mo stuff, and time jump, we're 9 days ahead and under military guard. So Chris is filming everything, kind of documenting everything, and discovers this little flashing light, which is like an ongoing part of the entire episode. And I don't know, I mean, it was like the show is definitely deliberately being a slow burn. I love that they've really switched things up a bit here with having the perimeter fences up. We're getting introduced to a number of new military characters and stuff. But something kind of, I don't know, I kind of felt cheated a bit because I watched the previews for this week last week, and I already knew that Nick was going to get caught by the military, and so that was kind of like the surprise was kind of taken away on me there. But having said so, I think many things are actually being set up here because we've learned a lot of information here. We've got 12 safe zones that are south of the San Gabriel Mountains. It's been 9 days since the lights went out, and the breakup, how Liza kind of felt obligated to go with Griselda and Nick because she kind of ratted on Nick anyway for the drugs. That's a pretty cool setup because now we have Griselda, Liza, and Nick all gone, presumably to some kind of medical military camp. And we also know from the very last scene that whoever was in that building that was flickering the lights, I mean, there's some gunshots going off. So what the heck is that? I mean, is that someone coming in and killing those people, or is that an actual building where people are being killed? Because we do also know from Madison's little journey outside of the perimeter that there's people who are not infected who are killed. And so there's a lot going on there that we don't know. And there's a great article that I'll put a link to in the description. The Hollywood Reporter has a great article explaining a bunch of stuff with quite a few spoilery things. And one of the things it says is that there's going to be no long-term battle with the military. So things are going to actually be changing up pretty soon. And it's not going to be the civilians versus the military for much longer. So what could that be? I mean, something's going to massively change up. I mean, will there be a big horde coming in or something, or what? I guess what's also kind of cool is because they're in this little safe zone, they don't really know, none of us really know, like how rapid the fall of society is happening. Because we do know from the original series that I believe Rick was in the hospital for 4 or 5 weeks. So that's like what? That's like a month or so. And so this is like 9 days. So basically they're one third of the way into as far as it gets with Rick. And I'm actually really glad that they're actually speeding this up because initially I kind of thought, oh, they're going to do like 1 day at a time kind of thing. And it's going to, season 1, which was only 6 episodes to begin with, isn't really going to get very far. But actually I have huge hopes for season 2. And I hope that they actually kind of, I don't know, there's something about the show. I mean, it's definitely, I like it and I'm totally going to watch it, but it's like this, it's just such a slow burn. I mean, you're just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting. I mean, it has a really good. It's definitely very good at making you feel tense and making you feel like, uh-oh, what's going to happen next? I mean, there are some slower scenes and whatnot, but I'm really liking that they're picking up the pace here. So that's a good thing. Interesting also to note how they're actually pulling in some religion into this because not once but twice we actually saw a passage from Revelation 21 verse 4 that says, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." And that was also written, the passage was actually written right on the fence, the perimeter wall fence. So I remember someone saying that they actually, oh yeah, it was the daughter saying that she feels like this is actually a prophecy that's actually meant to happen. So they're definitely throwing in some type of religious element into this already, which is interesting because, as we all know, the Bible definitely references returning from the dead. I'm glad they're spending a little bit more time developing Ophelia's character, although I could probably handle less of the kissy and more of the zombie, but we'll see where that takes us, and hopefully it's not just a lost cause. I mean, hopefully the show is smart enough to show us only things that matter, and so maybe this is all going to come back somehow. And in some ways, I think maybe the military isn't as bad as we think it is, or maybe parts of it are bad, but parts of it are actually good. Because if there is this crazy thing going on and nobody really knows what's going on, then Yeah, I mean, taking the sick and the drug addicts out of the equation and the psychologically unstable out of the equation is actually perhaps a good thing to protect the civilians and people who are not infected and not at risk. Although, obviously, just shooting people randomly on the street, that's kind of scary too. So maybe the military is actually fractured itself and there's people, different factions within the military. Anyway, I'm super excited for the last two episodes of season one, and I sure hope that they're like totally amazing. And I hope that there's so much stuff going on out there that when the military and all this stuff kind of falls apart, and everyone's faced with the brutal reality of what's behind those fences, that it's just like this massive shock, kind of like when Rick woke up in the original. That's my review. What do you guys think? What was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for next week? What's going to happen? Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening.